Hello everyone, my dear followers. Today I want to welcome you to a new fanfic for the channel. Today I want to welcome you to the first chapter of What If Naruto Had the Rinnegan and Fell in Love with TAYUYA. Remember, if you want more chapters, just smash that like and subscribe button. Enjoy.
Prologue. Namikaze Minato, the Yondaime Hokage, stood glaring at the man before him. The man tried to release the Kyuubi from his wife. He managed to prevent that, however it was done with a cost. He lost one of his hand. In a battle against normal ninja, this was not a problem. However, the man before him was anything but normal. The man managed to find the secret place where his wife, Kushina, gave birth. The man almost managed to kidnap his son, Naruto, under his nose. This was beyond other ninjas' ability. Not to sound arrogant, but Minato was certain that lesser ninjas would have died before they came close to his son. He tensed. The man charged towards him. His only thought was hoping that Kushina managed to call reinforcements on time. Uzumaki Kushina ran through the forest of Konoha with a baby in her hands. Her eyes moving frantically, seeking any Konoha shinobi for assistance. After some time running, she was about to lose hope when a voice called, "Kushina! What are you doing here?" Tsunade asked. Kushina sighed in relief. Senju Tsunade was one of the strongest kunoichi of Konoha. In addition, as a member of Sannin, when one was sighted, the others must be near. Kushina's prayer was answered when Jiraiya and Orochimaru appeared beside her. "Tsunade-sama. Please help. Minato is attacked." Kushina pleaded to Tsunade. Orochimaru tensed. Jiraiya's eyes widened. "Where is he?" he asked Kushina. Kushina informed him. "Jiraiya, Orochimaru, go to Minato. I will follow you after I take Kushina to safety." "No, Tsunade-sama, I'll be fine alone. Please help Minato." Kushina begged. Tsunade nodded. The Sannins leaped. Jiraiya hoped that he was not too late. The Sannins arrived at the secret spot. They froze. In front of them was Minato, dying. Blood soaked his clothes as he panted. One of his hand hanging limply covered in blood. The whole battlefield was covered by the kunais. Beyond Minato, a man with orange mask stood. Aside from his panting, he seemed to be in full health. "How?" Jiraiya asked. Shock filled his being. Minato was one of the strongest shinobi, if not the strongest. How did an unknown defeat him? Especially without any visible wound. Orochimaru stared calmly, though inwardly he was worried. Someone who Minato could not beat definitely could destroy him. Loath as he to admit, Minato was stronger than him. Tsunade froze at the sight of blood. Her fear of blood might be nearly healed, but the huge amount of blood triggered it. Minato disappeared in a yellow flash. He appeared behind the man. Rasengan appeared on his hand. He moved to strike the man. The Rasengan passed through him. Minato flashed again to another direction and continued his Rasengan. The man's eye, revealed to be a Sharingan, transformed for a split second before Rasengan connected. "Foolish man. I have proven to you my power. Your efforts are futile," the man stated. His voice carried power within it. "Yes, but the last time I struck you with Rasengan, I felt your chakra lowers drastically even though there is no visible wound. So I tried another one," Minato panted. "And it shall be your death," the man struck. Jiraiya and Orochimaru attempted to stop him. However, they were not fast enough as Minato's heart was stabbed by the man's hand. Orochimaru kicked the man away and Jiraiya tried to help Minato. "Tsunade! Heal him," he yelled. Tsunade snapped out of her daze and moved to heal the Hokage. The other Sannins crouched around them. "No. The wound is too deep." Minato coughed blood. "Tsunade-sama, Orochimaru-sama, Jiraiya-sensei, please take care of Kushina and Naruto." The man cannot use that technique again. Minato closed his eyes. "Forever." Jiraiya's eyes burned with fury. Orochimaru hissed. Tsunade stood, her eyes turned cold. The man faced them. "Eye closed." "Why did he close his eye?" Jiraiya asked. Minato-kun informed us that he would not be able to use that jutsu again. And the man seemed to have used it twice, Orochimaru analyzed. So, one jutsu needs one eye. Tsunade concluded. Well then. The Sanins moved. Let's go. Uzumaki Kushina watched her baby with worry-filled eyes. They were in Minato's safe house. Its location unknown to anyone but Minato, Jiraiya, and her. I wonder if Minato is alright, she asked out loud. A knock sounded from the door. She froze. Minato would not knock. Chakra chains shot from her hand. The chains went through the door and captured the one behind it. She stared at the visitor. Tsunade stared at her with a grave expression. The chains released her. I'm sorry, Kushina. Tsunade apologized. She moved to show what stood behind her. Kushina's face was filled with horror. Orochimaru and Jiraiya showed the body of Minato they carried. That day, the Sanins and the Uzumaki understood one fact. Namikaze Minato was dead. Chapter 1 Uzumaki Naruto. The first memory he had was of his mother crying. He did not understand at that time. As he grew older, he began to learn. One day, he asked his pale-skinned uncle why his mother cried. The pale man answered that she cried because of his father. Why is my mother crying? The child asked curiously to a pale-skinned man. The man looked thoughtful. I believe it was because of your father. He died the day you were born. He did not fully understand. However, he knew that his father was to blame. That day, Uzumaki Naruto learned hatred. Whenever his mother held him and smiled at him, he felt indescribable emotion. He liked it. He craved it. He tried hard to make her proud. He learned faster than a normal child. He acted more mature than normal child. Whenever he showed what he learned, his mother smiled proudly. Naruto-kun, what did you learn today? A red-haired, blue-eyed woman asked her son. Orochi taught me how to do Bunshin no Jutsu, he answered with a smile. Watch, and he showed her. Her mother smiled proudly. He felt strange and he liked it. That day Uzumaki Naruto learned happiness. When he was 8 years old, her mother told him tales of his father. How he had saved her when they were young. How he had trained hard and became one of the greatest shinobi known to the world. He was fascinated. Not by the story, but by the love and adoration in his mother's eyes when she thought about his father. To this day, I have never met a man like him. He was both gentle and strong. He was both a leader and a man. His mother showed a wistful smile at him. He stared. He never seen his mother that vulnerable since she cried long ago. He felt dislike to his father. The father who managed to make his mother showed such expression. That day, Uzumaki Naruto learned jealousy. 1 year later, he noticed that his godfather and aunt have always compared him to his father. Whenever they trained him, he tried hard to understand and master whatever they taught. And yet, they would say that his father would have mastered it faster, would do it better. He did not like it. How did I do, Jiraiya-jiji? Tsunade-bachan, he asked, turning to the white-haired man and the blonde-haired woman who watched him showed the result of his training. Good job, the man congratulated him, though Minato would have done that faster. He muttered. He heard his aunt reprimanding his godfather. Saying how his father was a shinobi while he was not. He resolved himself to prove that he was better than his father. That day, Uzumaki Naruto gained an ambition. Some time after that, his mother called him one day and asked a strange question. Why would he love the village? He felt nothing towards them. So he stared at his mother, confused. When he saw the expression in his mother's face, he learned a new emotion. Naruto-kun, what do you think about Konoha? At his confused glance she elaborated, do you love it? He stared blankly. He rarely interacted with the villagers. And even then, most of them simply called him son of Yondaime. He continued to stare until he saw his mother sigh. That day, Uzumaki Naruto learned guilt. Another year passed, he found one person in his life who did not compare him to his father. His uncle. Even his mother sometimes compared him to his father. The man told him that he was the only one who did not judge him. Therefore, he did the same. When he was told the reason, he was confused. But he accepted it. glad to find someone who cared about him without his father's influence. "Hey Orochi, why aren't you like Jiraiya or Tsunade?" The man gave him a questioning look. "They always praised my father and compared me with him." "Well, Naruto-kun, when you was a baby, you stared at me with a curious face. Most people stared at me with respect, awe, fear and other expressions that came from my reputation. Whenever I met you, you would talk to me normally. You do not judge me, so I do not judge you," the pale-skinned man explained. He felt confused. But he was assured that the man would be with him, no matter what. Because the man was his friend and not his father's. That day, Uzumaki Naruto made a true friend. The next year was the graduation of the academy. He passed without any trouble. The training his family gave him was more than enough. And yet, as he stood outside academy when his godfather picked him up, he was happy. He thought that his godfather was proud of him. His godfather was proud, but he added a statement that broke his happiness. "Your father graduated when he was 10, his godfather absently mentioned when they walked home. He stared. This was his moment, and yet, his godfather thought about his father. He did not know which was worse, his godfather's words or the fact that he felt nothing. That day, Uzumaki Naruto learned apathy. Uzumaki Naruto entered his and his mother's house. It was a small house with 2 bedrooms, a kitchen and living room. The house was located near Training Ground 44, nicknamed Forest of Death. He had lived here for all his life. The forest was used often by him and the Sanins for training. He saw his mother standing, waiting for him. "I'm home Okasama," he greeted. "Welcome home Naruto-kun. How did it go?" Uzumaki Kushina asked with a smile. "I passed," Naruto answered shortly. "Good job." Kushina hugged him. "As a celebration, do you want to go to Ichiraku Ramen?" Kushina asked, referring to her favorite restaurant. Smiling happily, Naruto lost any desire to celebrate when Jiraiya compared him to his father. But seeing his mother's happiness, he nodded. His mother's smile widened and he felt that it was worth seeing such expression on her face. The mother and son left to the restaurant. Ayam was the daughter of Tuchi, the owner of Ichiraku Ramen. She had worked at her father's restaurant since she was a kid. She accepted it. She liked seeing people eating her father's ramen happily. She liked how they would leave with satisfied expression. She truly respected her father for all his hard work. However, since 4 years ago, she found a goal. It was just another day in Ichiraku Ramen when a woman with red hair entered, bringing a child with her. Her father greeted the woman as his #1 customer. While her father talked with the woman, she observed the young boy. He ate her father's ramen with blank expression. When the pair left the restaurant, he thanked her and her father in a calm tone. She felt that her father's honor had been insulted. She learned the boy's name, Naruto. She wondered why did the boy had a ramen-inspired name. Watching the boy's mother eating ramen with a big smile, she understood. Ever since that fateful day, she begged her father to teach her how to cook. After that, every time the boy came with his mother, she served the ramen she made. At first, the boy stated that her ramen was inedible and refused to eat it after a bite. She worked harder. She felt thankful that the boy at least tasted her ramen each time he came instead of refusing it. After years, the boy finally ate the ramen and asked his mother for a second bowl. Ayam felt a sense of victory. However, after they finished, the boy still left with the same blank expression. Today was the day he graduated from Ninja Academy. She knew for sure that they would come to Ichiraku Ramen. She swore that she would make sure he left with a smile on his face. She saw 2 guests came into the restaurant. She smiled. "Welcome to Ichiraku Ramen." When Naruto heard the familiar voice, he saw the girl he had met many times. Ayam was the name. She was an interesting girl. She seemed to made it her mission to cook ramen for him years ago. At first, he was disgusted by the taste. He ate 1 bite and politely refused to eat it. When he saw the disappointed face of the girl, he felt guilty. The second time he was given a bowl, he saw her anxious expression. He ate 1 bite and found that while the taste was still inedible, it had improved. He again refused to eat the ramen. It continued for many times. He believed that his mother and the owner of the ramen stand enjoyed seeing their interactions. Until one day, she managed to cook an edible ramen. He stared at her hopeful expression and ate another bite. She smiled a bright smile that could light up the entire ramen stand. After he finished it, he thought about her smile. It was alien to him, an unknown. He wanted to see the smile again and he ordered another bowl. He was sure the taste of the ramen matched the smile she wore. He stared at the girl. Today she acted more cheerful than any other time. He wondered whether she managed to cook a ramen more edible than the last time. When his ramen came, he took a bite. He smiled. She saw the boy entered. He wore a black t-shirt with a red spiral mark on the back and black long pants. She noticed that he favored dark colors long ago. She also noticed that he always kept a red spiral on all his clothes. She gave the boy the ramen she cooked especially for this day. She watched him as he looked at the ramen closely. She saw his mother and her father watching him as tense as she was. He finally brought the chopsticks to his mouth. Ayam felt her heart stopped. In front of her, the boy, the emotionless boy she knew, smiled. She believed such smile could only came from an angel. When he was emotionless, he could be seen as a statue. A masterpiece. However, when he smiled, she could only describe him with one word. Perfection. She wondered why her knees felt weak and why she was staring at the ceiling before all went black. Naruto stared at the fainted girl. He felt disappointed. That meant he would be unable to order a second bowl of ramen. While the girl's father could cook a delicious ramen, he felt it was not right. The ramen she made could be considered as a tradition. He had done that for years and eating another ramen did not feel right. He supposed he did not regret eating in this place. As he heard sound of slurping and watched his mother eat bowls of ramen, he smiled again. Yes, he was not regretting it. As she walked home with her son, Kushina wondered, not for the first time, how did he become like this? She took care of him as her best friend, Mikoto taught her. With love and care. She assisted him when he needed her. She told him stories of his father and his legacy. She had hoped that he would grow up into a kind, gentle and strong man like Minato. Naruto also received influences from other people, particularly the Sanins. From Jiraiya, he adopted his will to keep trying and to never give up. From Tsunade, he gained a critical attitude and the lack of hesitation to point it out. But the greatest influence came from Orochimaru. And that was the problem. She did not dislike Orochimaru. She knew that he was a bitter because he failed to take the Hokage position. Especially now as Uchiha Itachi became the youngest Hokage in the age of 17. She noted that the man seemed to enjoy Naruto's presence and Naruto seemed to be more comfortable with him rather than anyone else. Anyone except her at least. That was another problem. Naruto seemed to be too attached to her. While he was able to act mature and self-sufficient, whenever he saw her, his thought would focus to her. It was nice to know that he loved her. However, she noticed that it went beyond the point that was healthy. Whenever she offered something, he would not refuse. Whenever she bought something for him, he would take care of it like it was his most important possession. She knew that as a fact. The accident 2 years ago proved it. 2 years ago, she bought him a book for his birthday. The book was a beginner guide for Fuinjutsu. A normal gift for a member of Uzumaki clan when they reached the age of 10. He thanked her and after the party, he was engrossed by the book. One day, he brought it to the academy. Nobody knew that it would lead to an incident. She heard that a group of bullies demanded him to surrender the book. He stared at them blankly as if confused by their attitude and returned his attention to the book. The bullies took this as a challenge and grabbed the book from his hands. He ordered them to return it but they laughed. He stated that it was a book given by her and they should return it. They mocked him as a mama's boy. They scrawled a huge cross mark on the cover of the book. That was their mistake. She did not know what happened. But Naruto returned home earlier than scheduled. He apologized to her for letting them ruin the book he gave her. She answered that it was fine, she could buy him a new one. He shook his head, stating that the book was an irreplaceable gift. She wondered whether she should be flattered or angered that he beat the bullies up to the point where they were declared unsuitable to become shinobi. Many times she thought that she had failed in raising him. However, each time they came to Ichiraku Ramen, she saw Naruto and Ayume's relationship and she concluded that she did not fail, because her son had proven himself to be a kind boy, though she lamented the fact that he was completely clueless in the matter of relationship. He was confused when she teased him about Ayume and other girls he met. As she saw some of the girls on the road blushed when they saw him, she smiled. He was Minato's son after all. The next day, Uzumaki Naruto walked into his classroom at the academy. He saw no one but his teacher, Irika, inside the classroom. Then again, it was 1 hour earlier than the scheduled time. He walked to his seat and opened his book. He read, ignoring everything else in the class. Yumino Irika was a chunin, a teacher in the Shinobi Academy of Konoha. He grew up with his parents as a normal boy. When he saw a teacher guided an unruly student and made the student into a respectable shinobi, he was impressed. He decided that he would become a teacher. By now he had experienced years of teaching. Each time he felt more confident than the last. He cared about all students in the academy. Whether they were bad kids or good kids did not concern him. He firmly believed that all students should have chance to change themselves for the better, or at least that was what he believed. When he heard the door opened, he froze. A student of his entered and sat at his assigned seat without any word. This student was Uzumaki Naruto, the son of Yondaime Hokage and Uzumaki Kushina, a former kunoichi of Konoha. He knew the boy personally. They met 2 years ago. As he saw the boy opened a book, he saw its cover. The cover with a large X mark on it. His mind flashed back to that day. 2 years ago, he was chosen as a substitute teacher of another class. After he taught the class, he decided to hide and watch how his temporary students interact without a teacher. He saw a boy reading alone. No other students talked with him. In fact, they seemed to avoid staring at the boy entirely. He recognized the boy as the son of Yondaime Hokage. He remembered that the original teacher of that class warned him that the boy could not connect with his peers. In the teacher's words, he is beyond them. He kept observing the boy until he saw a group of students approach the boy. He thought that they wanted to befriend him. He was wrong. He stared as the boy's book was taken. He thought it was a joke. But when the group of students laughed at the boy and wrote on the book, he moved to stop them. He was stopped by his surprise. He thought the boy was shy and a reader. He thought that was what the other teacher meant when he said the boy was beyond the others. He was mistaken. The boy struck one of the bully. At his right knee's joint, the bully fell, screaming in pain. By now, the other students watched them as the bullies jumped at the boy. When he snapped out of his shock, he moved to intervene. He was too late. By the time he stopped the boy was chalking a bully. The one who scrawled on the boy's book, he realized. He stopped the boy and called other teachers to take the injured students to the hospital. He received the hospital report shortly after and read it. What he read made him chilled to the bone. Each of the boys' injury were in specific places. Each of the injury also made sure that they would never be a ninja. With one exception. The bully who scrawled on the book could still become a ninja, but he was in critical condition when he reached the hospital. Only the great medic, Tsunade, managed to save the boy. He brought the victim to his office. He asked the boy, why did he crush the bully's chances to become a ninja? The boy stared at him blankly and answered without any hesitation, because they dirted my mother's gift. Trash should know their place. They are weak and yet they pretend to be strong. For the first time since he first taught at the academy, Yumino Irika was left speechless. After he recovered, he informed the boy that one of the bullies survived and could still return to the academy. The boy arched an eyebrow and asked which one was the survivor. He answered that it was the one who scrawled on the book. The boy nodded. I suspected that Tsunade would heal him. Then he came back here, all his friends gone, and he will be alone with the one who nearly killed him. And Yumino Irika understood. He did that deliberately. He knew that the bully would survive. If the bully stopped learning in the academy, the bully would live in regret. If the bully returned to the academy, he would live in fear of the boy. This boy was not normal. He was ruthless and efficient. Cold and calculating. He told the boy to avoid doing such thing as it would endanger his career. He told him that what he did was not right. The boy looked at him as if he was something unknown. The boy then walked away without a word. He noticed that the boy clutched the book possessively as he left the classroom. At that time he wondered whether the boy was a ruthless shinobi or a scared boy with strong attachment to his mother. He chose to believe the second. And now, seeing him read the same book he read for 2 years, with a hint of fondness on his face, Iruka decided that his suspicion was correct. Uzumaki Naruto was not a cold shinobi who coldly destroyed everyone who wronged him. He was nothing more than a fearful boy. He felt the teacher's eyes left him. He continued reading. No matter how much time he finished the book. Even though he completely memorized the whole book. He liked reading this book. He supposed that was because the book was his mother's gift. He remembered the trash he nearly killed. He did not know the trash's name and he had no wish to learn it. Ever since the trash returned, it would flinch when he was close and would ran away from him whenever they saw each other. That suited him just fine. He had no interest in worthless beings, especially not the one who touched one of his mother's gift. He felt other students arrived. He ignored them. None of them interested him. Inuzuka Kiba was a bully. He was no longer a bully. He learned his lesson 2 years ago. It was supposed to be a joke. When Kiba was young, he grew up with the stories of Yondaime Hokage. He admired the man. He wished to become like him. An alpha. A leader everyone recognized. Born in a clan that respected strength, he trained since he was young. He was loud, brash, and wild. A typical Inuzuka, most would said. When he entered the academy, he heard rumors about the son of Yondaime. He was interested. When he got the son as his classmate he was excited. That feeling did not last. The son ignored everything. He was content to be alone, reading a book or watching something. He never spoke except to the teacher and even then only when he was asked to answer a question. Whenever someone called him, he just stared at them blankly until they were uncomfortable and left him alone. One day, Kiba had an idea. He would provoke the boy and make him react, make him act more like a normal kid. When the teacher left the class, he and his friends gathered around the boy and demanded him to give the book to them. The boy stared at them and then returned to his book. Kiba exploded. He stole the book and watched as the boy's eyes showed a flicker of anger. He felt glad. The boy was a human after all. When the boy demanded them to return the book, one of his friends teased him about his mother. Kiba knew that was a mistake. His clan valued family. Insulting one's family means death. As he saw the boy's eyes burned he knew that they would be in trouble. One of his friends encouraged him to dawdle on the book. He did not want to do that but they pressured him to and he did. To this day he regretted his weakness. He stared, surprised as the boy attacked one of his friends. He tried to counter the boy with his friends but it was futile. Then his world exploded in pain. When he came to he was in the hospital. His mother and sister around him as he laid down on the bed. Broken, his mother demanded an explanation. He told them his story. How he tried to provoke the boy, how one of his friends mocked the boy's mother, and how he was pressured to dawdle on the boy's precious book. His mother was furious at him. His sister scolded him and told him that when he recovered, he would have to apologize. When he returned to academy after he healed, he tried to apologize to the boy. He failed. Every time he tried to apologize, his words died in his throat and he felt fear gripping him. He ran away. Now he was a ninja. He swore that he would apologize to the boy one day. Definitely. Uchiha Sasuke was the brother of the Hokage. He was born in the Uchiha clan, the strongest clan in Konoha. Since he was young, he tried his hardest to match his brother. His brother who was known as the prodigy. He failed and after his brother was chosen as the Hokage, he felt the gap between them increased. When he heard the Yondaime Hokage's son would be in the academy with him, he was interested. He thought that he could find someone who was like him. He was mistaken. The boy acted like a statue. He never accepted any attempts to befriend him. He ignored other people. Uchiha Sasuke hated him. When the boy proved his strength 2 years ago, his hatred grew. Uchiha Sasuke did not hate the boy because the boy was stronger than him. Uchiha Sasuke did not hate the boy because the boy ignored him. Uchiha Sasuke hated the boy for one simple fact. Because the boy reminded him of Uchiha Itachi, his brother. Both of them were stronger than others. Both of them closed themselves off from the society. Both of them stared at the world with eyes filled with disinterest. And that angered him. When he saw the boy in the class, reading with his usual blank expression, his hatred grew. Uchiha Sasuke swore he would surpass both Naruto and his brother one day. Hyuga Hinata was the heiress of Hyuga clan. When she was a child, she was kidnapped by a Kumo shinobi. She was almost taken away when a boy saved her and subdued her captor. That day, Hyuga Hinata found her light. She never forget his face. Thanks to her savior, the Hyuga clan met no trouble from Kumogakure. As if they tried to ask for compensation, they would need to reveal that their shinobi was defeated by a child. She trained hard since then, hoping to see him once again. To serve him with her entire body and soul. When she entered the academy, she was beyond happy. Her savior was here. In the same class as her. She thought about approaching him but decided not to. He ignored everyone who tried to initiate a conversation with him. She concluded that he must consider them not worth his time until they have proven themselves. 2 years prior, when a group of heathens dared to challenge her savior. She watched in glee as he struck them down. He punished them by destroying their future as shinobi. But her savior was forgiving. He allowed one of the heathen to return. She swore she would smite the heathen should he try to harm her savior again. The day the team would be announced, she hoped that she would be in the same team as him. Haruno Sakura was an ordinary girl. She came from an ordinary civilian family. She was fascinated by the story of ninjas in Konoha. She decided to enter the Shinobi Academy in a whim. She was glad she did so as she met her best friend. Yamanaka Ino saved her from bullies who insulted her large forehead. They became friends since then. When she entered her class for the first time, she was excited. The son of Yondaime Hokage and the brother of current Hokage were both in her class. She was disappointed when she found the son of Yondaime Hokage was a jerk who ignored everything. She joined her friend who was a member of Uchiha Sasuke fan club. She was a fangirl until 2 years ago. She remembered how the emotionless boy crushed a group of bullies with ease. Her eyes were opened that day. She started to train to become a better ninja, a stronger ninja. Because she realized one thing. In the shinobi world, might ruled everything. If you are weak, there is no hope to survive. Aburame Shino was a member of Aburame clan. His clan valued rationality in making decision and he agreed. He watched every situation with neutral position and made decisions best for all of the ones involved. Therefore, why did he stood still when he saw Uzumaki Naruto engaged in a battle against a group of students? The answer was because it was logical. His Kikaichu warned him not to engage the boy in hostile manner. He obeyed. He questioned his Kikaichu why did they feared the boy. They answered that he was an unknown. As the team announcement was made, he made sure to follow his plan. If he was on the same team as Uzumaki Naruto, a negotiation and alliance would be preferred. If not, engage Uzumaki Naruto with caution and only when necessary. Yamanaka Ino was a member of Yamanaka clan. She would admit that she was a girl before she was a kunoichi. She admired Uchiha Sasuke, the Hokage's brother. Or at least that was what people believed. She was not a fangirl. Her father just told her that deception was one of the greatest tools a shinobi have. Secretly, she admired Uzumaki Naruto, the enigma more than she admired Sasuke. Not to the extent of obsessing about him, she admired how he acted calm and cold in every situation. Acting like true shinobi her father told her long ago. When he was attacked 2 years ago, she was worried. She saw as he ruthlessly broke the bully's future as shinobi. She was amazed. Her admiration grew. As she thought about him, she wondered what would it be like if they were on the same team. She decided that it would be interesting. Nara Shikamaru was a member of Nara clan. He thought that life was troublesome. He was a genius with IQ over 200. He was also a lazy person. His best friend was Akimichi Choji. One of his most troublesome friend was Yamanaka Ino. When his mother ordered him to enter the academy, he thought that it would be troublesome. He was proven right 2 years ago. A group of students tried to mess with the son of Yondaime Hokage. He liked the boy. The boy did not care when he slept through the class. The boy alone was not troublesome, but he seemed to be a magnet that attracted troublesome situations. When the group of students were sent to the hospital, he sighed. At the team announcement, he hoped he was not with Naruto. If he was with Naruto, then his life certainly would be troublesome. Akimichi Choji was a member of Akimichi clan. He, like most people of his clan, liked to eat. He liked his friends. His best friend was Nara Shikamaru. One of his friend was Yamanaka Ino. He met the mysterious son of Yondaime Hokage once before academy. They met at Ichiraku Ramen when the boy was given a bowl of ramen completely unlike what Choji had ever seen. The boy took a bite and then saw his expression. The boy offered the ramen to him. He declined and later accepted after the boy insisted. That day, he considered Uzumaki Naruto as his friend. 2 years ago, when his friend was attacked, he was about to help him. But he could do nothing but watch as his friend defeated the group of students without any mercy. That time, he felt scared of his friend. For his friend, scared of him because of his power, scared for him because of the loss of his innocence. At the day the team would be announced, he wished to be in a team with Shikamaru and Naruto. Then Shikamaru and he could teach Naruto to relax and to become their friend. Uzumaki Naruto continued to read his book, ignoring other students and Irika. When he heard Irika about to announce the teams, he slowed his reading. Irika opened his mouth and he listened. Chapter 2 Team 7. Uzumaki Naruto stared. Uchiha Sasuke met his stare. Haruno Sakura shook her head in dismay. It has been 3 hours since their team was announced and they waited for their sensei in silence. Sakura wished either one of the boy would speak. The silence was slowly becoming more unbearable. In addition, the atmosphere had gotten more tense since the last hour. She gathered her courage. She had enough of the oppressive atmosphere. Do you know who our sensei is? She asked. She wished she had not asked. The 2 silent boys turned and stared at her. Sasuke turned away. His face unchanged. She wondered how he kept that expression, or lack thereof, for so long. Sakura turned to her other teammate. The most mysterious one in the team. While Sasuke was well-known cold guy because of his brother's fame, Uzumaki Naruto was a blank page. He was rarely seen in the village and even then, he would only follow his mother. Even in class he ignored everything. When a sensei asked him a question, he answered tersely and returned to his book. He seemed to evaluate her and then Sasuke. She repeated the question. Finally he opened his mouth. I know. He stared at the Uchiha. The boy was interesting. He noticed in class that the boy would sometimes stare or glare at him. He wondered if this was one of the famous Uchiha attitude that his godfather told him. When he heard his other teammate spoke, he moved his stare towards her. Then he searched what he knew about the girl. Haruno Sakura. A kunoichi from civilian family. All about her were average. The amount of her chakra was smaller than the others. Potentially useful for genjutsu and Iryo ninjutsu. Then he returned his stare to the other boy. Uchiha Sasuke. A shinobi from Uchiha clan. Brother of Hokage. One of the stronger graduates this year. Chakra larger than average. Potentially useful for Sharingan, ninjutsu, and genjutsu. Logical team placement. He concluded. While he knew not where he stood in terms of skills, he was aware that he held the position of close-range combatant in the team. However, the problem was the sensei. Why would that person be chosen? When he heard the girl repeating her question, he answered, I know. Seeing the girl's shocked face, and his other teammates' interested eyes, he explained further. Our sensei was one of the ANBU. He is known as one of the strongest jonin in Konohagakure. Hatake Kakashi. His teammates stared at him. Then the girl seemed to snap out of her shock. Is there anything else you know? She asked. He closed his eyes. Hatake Kakashi, Copy Ninja Kakashi, Sharingan no Kakashi. No specialization. However, his ninjutsu was considered to be one of the best. One of the candidate for Godaime Hokage. Rejected because of his attitude. known for his habits to arrive late in each meeting, his mask, and the book he always read. Here his teammates seemed to stare at him deadpanned. He wondered why, never realizing that he had the same reputation of reading book. Hair, silver, spiked. Eye, one black, the other kept under his forehead protector, Sharingan. Body type, tall, slightly more muscular than average jonin. Was a member in a team under Namikaze Minato. A prodigy. Graduation age, 5 years old. Chunin age, 6 years old. Jonin age, 13 years old. Created ninjutsu Chidori and enhanced version Raikiri. Then he opened his eyes and stared at the door. Would you like to add anything, Hataki-san? Naruto asked. His teammates turned to stare at the man who walked to the front of the class. The man's uncovered eye turned into an eye smile. When Uchiha Sasuke heard the girl in his team asked a question, he felt a trace of surprise. He thought she was a fangirl. But she had not approached him yet. Instead she asked about their sensei. When he heard the Uzumaki answering, he was even more surprised. He thought the boy would ignore her. Instead he answered. He listened to the description of his new sensei. His eyes widened. Why did the sensei have a Sharingan? The Sharingan was the birthright of Uchiha clan. It was unthinkable for him to hear someone who was not Uchiha possessing a Sharingan. Why did his father and brother allow a non-Uchiha to possess a Sharingan? He resolved to ask them after he was home. When the boy turned to the door and called their sensei, he was surprised and turned towards the door in shock. He did not even knew their sensei was there, and the Uzumaki sensed him with his eye closed. Uchiha Sasuke was intrigued. Hatake Kakashi is late and he knew it. He was visiting the memorial stone. Visiting Obito, Rin, and his sensei. He told them happily that he was chosen to be sensei's son's sensei. He told them that there was an Uchiha too, one of Obito's relative. The other one was a girl. When he heard that, he hoped she was not a fangirl. He hoped that she was a kunoichi like Rin. He told them that he observed his team for a few days. His team was similar with theirs. But they were different. The Uchiha was the brother of the Hokage. And he wanted to surpass his brother. He heard that the Haruno girl was a fangirl. But when he observed her training, he supposed that she had stopped being a fangirl. Sensei's son is the interesting one. He seemed to ignore everything. He lacked love for his village. And yet he had a way to attract people. He heard that Sensei's son saved the Hyuga heiress. It was impressive how a young boy managed to stop a shinobi from escaping when he was young. The heiress seemed to like him. He heard that Sensei's son had beaten a group of delinquents 2 years ago. He did it with ease. As expected. He was trained by the Sanins and his mother after all. He was absorbed in his talk with his sensei and teammates. That was why he failed to sense someone standing behind him. He suddenly felt pain as his head was smacked. He turned around. Kushina stood behind him. He smiled, not that she could see it. It was hidden behind his mask after all. Kushina-san, how are you today? He greeted. What are you doing here? The Uzumaki asked angrily. Visiting the memorial stone, would you like to join? Kakashi offered. He was sure that she would like to speak with Sensei. You are supposed to be at the academy 3 hours ago, she exploded. How did you know that? Kakashi asked. My son's clone asked me who his sensei was. He told me that his sensei's name was Hatake Kakashi. After telling him about you, I decided to search for you. You go to the academy now. Or I'll drag you there myself. Calm down. He smiled. I was about to go there. He stood and walked away from the memorial stone. By the way, when did Naruto ask you about me? 1 hour ago. When my son asked a question, I need to answer it as complete as I can or he won't stop asking. Kushina's face grew serious. Kakashi, I know that you are Minato's student, but don't treat Naruto like Minato's son. He disliked it. Treat him normally instead. Or he will ignore you. Just like how ignored most of the village. Is it because he feels like he is in Sensei's shadow? Kakashi asked curiously. I don't know, Kushina answered sadly. Orochimaru told me that he hated being treated as Minato's son. But he didn't tell me anything else. Orochimaru is a traitor who abandoned the village, Kakashi pointed out. Kushina sighed, Orochimaru is my son's best friend. Naruto told me when he was young that his only friend was Orochimaru. Alright. I'll treat him like a normal genin instead of sensei's son. As Kakashi moved to the academy, he wondered whether he could do that. Naruto was a splitting image of his sensei after all. Just when he was about to enter he heard his sensei's Naruto's voice. Naruto described him to his teammates. When he replayed his conversation with Kushina, he wondered whether those data were really gathered just 1 hour ago. He entered the room. Would you like to add anything, Hataki-san? His other 2 students snapped their attention towards him. I smiled. This team would be interesting indeed. Even though Hatake Kakashi said that his team would be interesting a few hours ago, he wondered whether it was a good thing. His mind replayed to his student's introduction. I am Uchiha Sasuke, I don't have any likes. I dislike idiots. I have an ambition to surpass my brother. While Uchiha Sasuke could have an attitude adjustment, it was normal for Uchiha to act like that. At least he has a drive. My name is Haruno Sakura, I like my friend, Ino. I dislike people who insult me and my friends. My hobby is to play trivia games. My goal is to be a good kunoichi. The girl is still innocent but she wanted to become a good kunoichi. He would see whether she really is serious or not. The problematic part was Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto. The team waited for him to continue. That's it? What about your likes, dislikes, hobbies, and goal? Kakashi asked. Naruto just stared. Information is important. I do not wish to share any information with people I do not trust. But Naruto-san. Naruto turned to the pink-haired kunoichi. She faltered. Naruto, if you don't share any information, how could all of you become a good team? I have no need for teammates. Friends, I have no need for friends. Training partner, I have no need for training partners. Kakashi sighed. With Naruto like this, how could Team 7 have any chance to pass the bell test? How could he make Naruto understand the benefits of having a strong bonds? He was about to tell Naruto that his father had good teammates when he was young. But he managed to stop himself. Kushina's warning sounded in his head. He thought about what he knew about Naruto and tried to find anything to appeal his interest. He found it. Naruto, you know about the legendary Sannin, right? He asked. Naruto nodded. The Sannin, consisted of Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru were famed for their abilities and great teamwork. Are you aware about how did they receive the name? Naruto answered, the Sannin fought against Hanzo of the Salamander, one of the strongest shinobi and survived during the Second Great Shinobi War. Yes. They survived because of their teamwork. They assisted one another. It was told that if together, the current Sannin would be unbeatable. Naruto stared. I concede that teamwork is useful. However, I have no need for it. I have no plan to stay in this team for long. You plan to become a Chunin as fast as possible, Kakashi commented. Naruto nodded. However, to pass the Chunin exam, you need a solid teamwork. And without trust, that will not be achieved. I will do it. I will not rely on others. I will pass the exam alone, Naruto declared. His eyes shined with cold determination. Without a doubt, he is Sensei and Kushina's son. Kakashi sighed. Sasuke and Sakura just stared at them. Naruto, without a team you will not survive. If it was not for my teammate, Uchiha Obito, I will not stand here before all of you. Naruto stared. A hint of curiosity in his eyes. I was about to be killed but my friend pushed me out of the way. He gave me his Sharingan as a gift and without it, I wouldn't survive most of my battles in the war. Without my friend, I would not become a shinobi like I am now. Bonds helps you grow. Bonds will make you stronger. Uzumaki Naruto. Likes, mother. Dislikes, nothing. Hobby, training, gardening. Goal, to become a Hokage, Naruto stated. Kakashi smiled. While he could be cold, it seems that Naruto would not ignore a good advice. Although, he needs to be convinced first. Becoming Hokage was interesting information though. Perhaps he wished to surpass his father like Sasuke and his brother. A bell test is still impossible now. He would pass them without a test. However, later when they would enter Chunin exam, he would test them. to see whether they have grown or not. Good. Tomorrow, we will meet again in Training Ground 3. I will test each of you. After that, we can decide on our team schedule. He stood up. His team following. I promise I will help all of you achieve your goal. Remember this, in the ninja world, those who break the rules are trash, that's true, but those who abandon their comrades are worse than trash. His team seemed to ponder about the words. Sakura smiled, Naruto and Sasuke's eyes lightened with interest. Team 7, dismissed. In the end, he supposed that his team was not so bad after all. They are young. They could grow. It was his responsibility to assist them in their shinobi life. He will not fail. He will not fail them like he did with Obito. With Rin. With his sensei, his promise to help them reach their goal was genuine. And he will do it. Uzumaki Naruto walked to his home in silence. He thought about his sensei's words. Was it true? That a team is needed? That bonds will help him. If they were true, then he would be mistaken. When Naruto reached his home, he saw his mother waiting for him, smiling. He pushed the thoughts away. After their dinner, he stared at the ceiling of his room. His mind flashed to Orochi's final lesson. Naruto-kun, when you see me with Jiraiya and Tsunade, what did you think? I wondered, why are you tolerating them? Isn't it better to be alone? You are shinobi. You have secrets. With more people, it is harder to keep a secret. Orochimaru's face became serene. He seemed to be lost in his memory. Because Naruto-kun, we are human. And no human can live alone. Naruto wondered whether that was true or not. For now, he would do what Orochi and Hatake-san said. He would try to accept his team. If it was true, then he would concede and accept what they said. If not, then it seems that he was correct after all. Chapter 3 Life of a normal genin team. He ran through the familiar forest. If he remembered correctly, there should be a river beyond this forest. He prepared himself to jump. He leaped, he turned his head and saw his hunters following him. He felt fear. If they caught him, he would be forced to return there. He would not give up, no matter what. Then he felt hands around him. He looked around. He did not sense any hunters near him. How? Then when the two other hunters arrived near him, he knew it was over. I have captured the cat. Naruto's voice echoed around the clearing. Sakura and Sasuke stopped near him, staring at him, surprised. They chased the cat for hours and Naruto just grabbed him like it was nothing. Naruto stared at their faces. He was a little confused. Why would they be so tired? Capturing a simple cat should be an easy task. He decided that he would have to ask Hatake-sensei for additional training. There must be something wrong in their training if they failed to complete such easy mission. Sasuke shook his head, let's just go. He walked back to the academy, Naruto and Sakura following. It had been 2 weeks since they became a team. Every day, they took a mission then trained the rest of the time. Kakashi stood near the mission assignment desk inside the academy. He felt memories rushing into him as his Kage Bunshin was dispelled. He reviewed his memories. Sasuke and Sakura did what most novice genins usually did. They chased Tora after seeing it. Without any plan, Kakashi thought and at first did the same, but he suddenly decided to follow them in the shadow. When the cat turned its attention to Sasuke and Sakura, he took that chance to capture it. Impressive as always. And therein lies the problem. Naruto is too efficient. When they received a task to paint a wall, Naruto made sure they painted in order as he commanded. The end result was impressive, but it took too long. And the wall was just a normal wall of a civilian house. In their babysitting mission, Naruto made sure that the children received enough nutrition in their foods. He also made sure they learned basic knowledge he deemed necessary. The problem was that the children were unable to understand his teaching. Learning from these missions, he concluded that Naruto lacked common sense or at least a sense of normalcy. He wondered what could he do to make Naruto more human. They have grown since their first meeting. Sasuke, who was focused on surpassing his brother, now are able to work together with Naruto and Sakura. Sakura was already normal from the start, she just grew stronger and more responsible after his order to learn medical techniques. Naruto showed more emotion and started to get angry when annoyed enough. Not bad, Before he would just ignore everyone, but lately he gave reaction when he was talked to. Most of it were annoyances though. He looked at the list of missions left. The only missions left are useless in this matter. No other choice but training then. Kakashi sighed. He heard the sound of footsteps. It seemed that his team had returned. When they gave the cat to the owner, Naruto saw the cat being embraced tightly. He felt a bit of pity to the cat but immediately crushed the feeling. He watched as Hatake and Sarutobi Hiruzen, the former Hokage, talked about the next mission they would take. He wondered about the missions. They seemed useless. No mission is useless. Therefore there must be a secret task in it. In the painting mission, he concluded that the secret task was to use the weapons, paint, correctly to achieve the best result. In the babysitting mission, he concluded that the secret task was to be able to train the children to be useful for the future. In this capturing mission, the secret task would be to train them in hunting enemy shinobi. He gave a small nod to himself. That must be it. Kakashi suddenly felt the urge to cry. He turned to the genins. Sarutobi already gave him permission to take C-rank mission. For now, he will train them. The rest is up to them. He motioned them to follow him to their training ground. The training ground with the memorial stone. The training ground 3. His eye glinted when Naruto asked for a harder training on their way to the ground. When he heard Sasuke and Sakura groans, his eye glinted even more dangerously. Even Sasuke, who trained hard to surpass his brother, could not match Naruto's enthusiasm. Harder training, he said. He would gladly oblige. That day, Team 7 knew hell. Naruto laid on the ground near his house. He trained there every day. However, today his body was about to burst. He never knew training could be so tiring. He supposed that was the difference between training alone and training with a sensei. Hatake was a ruthless taskmaster. He ordered them to run around Konoha walls, then he ordered them to go through a training ground full of traps. After that he taught them taijutsu, then ninjutsu, then genjutsu, and returned back to the running around the walls. The cycle continued. It opened his eyes. He is weak. Compared to someone such as Kakashi, he is a weakling. Naruto swore he would become stronger. Strong enough to survive the training. Strong enough to match Kakashi. Strong enough to wipe that damn eye smile on that Cyclops face. As he fell asleep, Naruto did not even think how much he changed after 2 weeks with his team. When Sasuke entered the Uchiha clan compound, his mother immediately took him to his bed. It was quite a normal reaction. After all, he looked like he was about to die. When his mother bathed him in front of his father and brother though, his vitality was restored. Not too much, just enough to swear revenge to Kakashi. That damned scarecrow. After she arrived to her home, Sakura is glued to her bed. All of her body ached. She was given less strenuous training, but she asked for more training as she felt she needed to catch up with the boys. She wondered whether that was a mistake when Kakashi's eye glowed with glee. Now she knew it was a mistake. She resolved to learn more medical techniques. If she learned all of them, sooner or later she would find it. Her new goal in life. To castrate a one-eyed sadist. Hatake Kakashi shivered while he was reading his book. He thought about it. Could someone be plotting a revenge against him? He decided, no. There is no way someone would hate him. After all, he was kind enough to give his genin a taste of what they would go through if they joined ANBU. There is no way someone would hate such kind person. Hatake Kakashi I smiled. Perhaps tomorrow he would give them the same training. After all, they survived today. Within 1 week, Team 7 managed to set several new records. First, running around Konoha on the wall every day. 10 rounds in the morning, 10 in the evening. Second, record time of capturing Tora the cat. The cat seemed to be unable to sense Naruto. Third, and personally for Kakashi, the best, Team 7 were the first to hear Naruto use a foul language. It was, "I'll kill you one day, bastard," to his beloved sensei. Fourth, the first genin team this year to accept an A-rank mission. And completed it without any assistance. How did this happen? The Hokage, Uchiha Itachi asked. Team 7 stood in the Hokage's office with said Hokage and 2 missing names. Kakashi rubbed his head. Well, it was an interesting story. I have time, the Hokage answered. All of it started when we accepted C-rank mission to escort a bridge builder to Nami. We met in front of Konoha's main gate. That day was the genin's first C-rank mission. We already met with our client Tsunade. It was a good meeting. I am not a midget. Naruto. Put that kunai away. Which part of that was a good meeting? Itachi asked. It was a good meeting, Kakashi repeated firmly. After the good meeting, we went to Nami. On the way, we were suddenly attacked by the nefarious demon brothers. Hataki, you are a shinobi, not a storyteller, Itachi pointed out. Agreed, Kakashi was stabbed. His team betrayed him and agreed with the Hokage. How could they? He conveniently forgot that all Konoha shinobi should obey the Hokage. After the great and cool Jonin defeated the demon brothers, we found out that Nami was terrorized by the tyrant Gato. Unable to turn away from their plight, the handsome devil Kakashi agreed to help the poor village. Then he heroically with his 3 sidekicks fought and destroyed Gato's army. Nami was freed and the hero Kakashi returned triumphantly to Konoha. The office was filled with silence. Hataki-sensei. Naruto trailed off. Kakashi grinned behind his mask. He managed to make Naruto speechless. Another new record. He truly is the great, cool and badass Kakashi. You are stupid, his pink-haired student insulted him bluntly. He felt as if his body was struck with his own raikiri. Can any of you give me a clear report? Itachi asked the genins. And why there are 2 unknown shinobi here? Sasuke and Sakura looked at Naruto. He nodded. When the demon brothers attacked, Sasuke, Sakura and I defeated them. Hataki-sensei appeared after he lazed around somewhere. I did not laze around. I was merely watching to see whether my cute little genins can win against the enemies or not. After the lazy scarecrow appeared, we found out from Tazuna about Gato. We decided that we should continue the mission. Kakashi had full confidence in us. On our way, we were attacked by Zabuza. You were their enemy then? Itachi asked the missing nin. Yes, Zabuza answered. Haku and I accepted a mission from Gato to assassinate the bridge builder. I assume there is a good explanation for your presence here. Itachi asked, one of his eyebrow raised. There is. Please allow me to continue Hokage-sama. Itachi nodded. The clearly delusional Jonin, again allowed us to fight alone against the A-rank missing nin, demon of Kirigakure, Zabuza. We were defeated quite soundly. Then the lazy sensei stepped in and in his words, heroically saved his cute little genins. Zabuza was about to be defeated. However, Haku saved him from his death. I assume you are Haku-san? Itachi asked the other shinobi. The shinobi nodded, yes Hokage-sama, Yuki Haku. It is an honor to meet you. Itachi nodded, survivor of Bloodline Massacre. Haku flinched but nodded again. Continue, Itachi commanded Naruto. After that, there was nothing more to be said. We trained in preparation for another battle against Zabuza. We fought on the bridge that was being built and after our victory, Gato appeared. He was planning to betray Zabuza and Haku. Because all of us were tired, we decided to work together and defeated Gato's army of mercenaries. When we returned to Konohagakure, we offered Zabuza and Haku a place in Konohagakure as an exchange for their loyalty. They agreed and here we are. I would like to repeat again, other than distracting Zabuza and training us, our esteemed sensei did nothing in duration of this mission. I see, is there anything else you would like to add? Itachi asked Sasuke and Sakura. And no, Sasuke turned away, face red. Sasuke? Itachi asked. What Sasuke-kun and Naruto-kun here forgot to say was that Haku met with Sasuke before we fight. I don't know what they were talking about but they seem to be close now, Sakura reported with smile. Itachi allowed himself to smirk. It seems that this is something I must inform mother. Itachi. Sasuke growled. Sasuke-kun, that is no way to talk to Hokage-sama, Haku admonished. Sasuke growled but said nothing. In addition, Sakura added, the bridge was named the Great Naruto Bridge. How did that happen? Itachi asked. Naruto encouraged the grandson of the bridge builder, Kakashi answered. He said, your father died as a hero. My father did too. In my whole life, people always compared me with him. Now, my goal is to surpass him. Will you try to surpass your father and become a hero? Or will you die as nothing? Think of your mother. If you died as nothing, won't she be disappointed? Gather your courage. Lead the village. Raise an army, raise your army against Gato's army. The office was filled with silence. Zabuza laughed. Kid, are you trying to be a motivational speaker? He asked Naruto. Naruto blushed. Quite an impressive speech, Naruto-san, Haku praised. Naruto blushed even more. I am so proud of my student. Kakashi pretended to wipe a tear from his eye. Naruto wished he could disappear. Naruto-kun really is a kind person, Sakura commented with a grin. Naruto pretended he could disappear. Sasuke smirked at him. Naruto shut himself off from the world. Naruto-san, Itachi called. Naruto and the others turned their attention to him. Would you like to write my speech? It's a B-rank mission. Naruto groaned. The others laughed at his misfortune. Jokes aside, I am pleased you returned to Konoha now, Itachi informed them. Why is that, Hokage-sama? Kakashi asked. Hatake Kakashi, commander of Team 7, Itachi stated formally, would you like to enter Team 7 to the Chunin exam?